Welcome to the podcast with your favorite cash flow guys, Mike and Blaine, giving you the best advice while having a beer. When you're running a business, there are problems every day. Let Mike and Blaine help you out and guide your way. Cheers to the good times with Mike and Blaine for business, beer, and BS.
Hey, it's Mike and Blaine. I'm Mike Blaine, also known as Cashflow Mike. That is Blaine Birch. He is the CEO and founder of Dry Run, the best cash flow forecasting software on the planet. What's up, man?
It's just about that time of the week. I was looking forward to it. We got a good topic today. We got sneak peek. We have a jingle for our topic. So we're going to try that today. That's going to be exciting. Super fun. But before we get into that, of course, there's business, beer, and BS. So what kind of beer you got going this week?
All right, so I know everybody knows Sierra Nevada. They probably don't know it's family owned and operated, right? It's not a big, it's not like Budweiser. It's not like InBev and those type of things. Matter of fact, what I like about, I got the West Coast, right? Or West Ghost.
West Coast, nice.
So, yeah. But the thing that brought me in on this one was family owned, operated, and argued over. That's what I like. I like it when like just people are original. They're like going, man, yeah, because that's what we do. It's like family fight night sometimes. So I'm gonna have this West Coast. It was an IPA. Yeah, West Coast IPA.
Sounds like a nice. I got going today. Now, this feels a little bit like FIFA World Cup coming up. It feels a little bit like that. It is Odd Company, which is a terrific brewery in Edmonton, and I'm going to pronounce it Umarell, even though all my Italian friends would say that is so wrong. But I'm not even going to attempt it because it'll come out sound like German or something. But it's an Italian Pilsner from Odd Company. And Odd Company, a terrific brewery in town. They got a couple locations. And so I'm cracking into the Italian Pilsner today. And it just feels like soccer time.
Hey, cool thing. I mean, it is soccer time. World Cup coming up. But there is a tournament going on right now called the Road to the World Cup. And Courtney is in College Station. She's going to be working the stands. One of the matches is between Argentina and Honduras. And Argentina has this player called Messi. I don't know if you've heard of him or not before.
Hard not to have heard of him. Yeah. I don't even know soccer and I know Messi. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's going to the soccer match to run the stores. They're going to have like 7 different stores around the pop-up stores, right? Around the thing. So she's there. I didn't go. I chose to babysit the dog. Go figure.
Messi needs that. That sounds fun too. We actually had a friendly in town just was it last week? No, Monday. I think it was this week. We had a friendly in town, and unfortunately the weather was awful. And usually this time of year it's like it's fine. And it rained and it rained and it rained. And so a friend of mine asked me on Sunday, he's like, hey, got an extra ticket? And I'm like, nope, there's no way. It's cold and rainy. I am not sitting outside. They still got 45,000 fans out and it was just wet and cold. So, I got to give them credit for showing up and cheering on. It was Team Canada versus, I don't remember who, but yeah, World Cup coming up. It's I'll admit it's probably the only time I watch soccer or football, I suppose. And I really enjoy it, but I barely watch it outside of World Cup. But I should because it's really fun to watch.
They have 65,000 tickets sold for this thing at Kyle Field. 65,000 in College Station, which is like in the middle of nowhere. Now, here's the thing. It's going to look empty. 65,000 people will look empty. Why? Because they can hold over 100,000 in this stadium.
Okay.
Kyle Field's legit, man. It can hold people like crazy. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm not sneezing at 65,000. That's a lot of people going to a soccer game.
That is a lot. It would be fun. Like if the weather was good, I'd love to go see some games. I'd love to see Canada. Yeah. But their Canada never gets very far. Like obviously I'm cheering for them. I'm rooting for them. They never get very far. So my other team is Germany. And I got to watch, I don't know, was it 2 World Cups ago when Germany won and I watched all the way through, and that, all the way to the game when they won, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. So I'll be rooting for Germany this year. If Canada doesn't pull out a bit of a miracle, I'll be seeing how far they go. So it's a tough road though. Tough road to win that one.
Gotta hey, and this is part of the beer business and BS. We're getting a little bit of BS, a little bit of beer. We got beer sponsors. Matter of fact,
Yes.
I just connected one of our beer sponsors, the Cashflow Cowboy, right? The Cashflow Cowboy, Larry Weinstein out of Houston, Texas. And you were right. My God, I said Missouri. I went back and looked. Pat called me out on it. I said,
You did believe
Missouri.
me.
Shit, I was wrong. I mean, it was just like, I don't know, where would I ever get that from? But it's Houston, Texas is what we're talking about. And so I connected him up with Neighbor Breger, right? Neighbor Breger. I mean, he's looking, just kind of shopping some CPA business stuff going on. And he came over. One of the sweetest things, I'm going to call him a sweet thing now. he wanted he wanted to have lunch, right? So we had lunch this week, and he ordered taco palenque and brought it over the house. And I said, hey, why didn't you bring one of those discount beers you promised? He didn't. He didn't bring any discount beers. So I think it's a myth. I don't think you can get just a shelf full of beers for $1 a piece at HEB, because I've never seen it. Apparently they're hidden away in some vault in Neighbor Breger's garage. So maybe HEB does that. Maybe it doesn't. Don't take his word, because he hasn't showed it yet.
Yeah, well, and I don't know if you'd want him to. I'm not sure you really want that $1 beer. That's like the $2 Chuck wine. It's not it's not something you really want to try more than once.
Yeah, when I talked to him on the phone today, he says, "Oh, I'm going to wait till they're expired and then give them to you." I go, "Well, that's a Pat move." So you're doing a Neighbor Pat move now. Just give me old expired beers.
That's there's nothing worse than expired beer when it's skunky. And I try and keep especially the lagers and that, I try and keep making sure they're moving through, because I've had a few times I've left a few in the fridge in Arizona, and I'm gone for 6 months and come back and I'm like, should I try it? And then of course I can't stop myself from taking a sip, and it's just like the skunkiest, grossest, just just dump all of it out. So
I'm glad you used that word skunky, because maybe that's a better nickname than Neighbor Breger. Maybe it could be Skunky Beer Breger. What do you think?
just call him Skunky. There you go. You're good to go.
All right, we'll just call him Skunky. All right, so from now on this show, if you hear Skunky, that's actually Neighbor Breger. All right, so that's his new nickname. We just nicknamed him. So
all right.
we don't treat every beer sponsor this bad. Matter of fact, we got some beer sponsors like Karen Harrison out of Michigan. She has her own cash flow consulting company. She's got a best-selling book on Amazon called Stop Growing Broke, Start Growing Profits. And if you want to just learn more about cash flow in your business, if you need help, first of all, go buy the book. And then secondly, contact Karen Harrison up in Michigan. She can help square you away on your cash flow problems.
She's not in Missouri.
She's not in Missouri. She's in Michigan. Yeah, she's not in Missouri.
All right. And Devin, biggest LSU fan on the planet. He was the Netflix superstar. Had a amazing part on a Netflix documentary. Where he's
like a leading star role, right?
Wasn't leading like star role.
Yeah.
Well, it was. I would say he's a star fan in the crowd. So it was. But thanks again, Devin, for supporting us. Just love having you support us for so long. I really appreciate it.
There you go. So you too can also be part of our beer sponsorships. It's the best $5 you will ever spend. It's $5 per episode. Most people, when they jump in for all year. Why? Because you get an evergreen content from Mike and Blaine talking about you and your business. Now, if you don't give me anything to say, I'm going to say what I want. But if you give us something to say, we're going to say that, right? Except for if the other Mike Blaine calls and wants to brag about some weird team in Baltimore, we're not doing that one. But, but in most cases, we'll say what you want us to say.
Exactly. And I'm still going to mention Neighbor Pat, because he didn't mention me yet. So I don't think he brought you the beer this week, but I still got to mention Neighbor Pat, because he's always big supporter of the show. So I
All right,
appreciate
he did bring beer. He brought beer last night. So
then we better thank him, right?
he did bring beer. He sat in his chair right there. He did not hit the door stop, right? You know who hit the door stop this time? You know who did? Guess who I had over for lunch who hit the doors? I'm like, why are you guys trying to pin yourself in between a space this big, the wall and the chair? Every person that's ever tried it has hit the door stop and it goes, like going,
it's put like an umbrella stand back there or something. Yeah, just put a little something back there.
Yeah. Just it's like you know, you got to train, you know, even cattle, you got to train them how to go avoid obstacles. So anyway, if you come over and you sit in neighbor Pat's chair, try to use the main walkway and don't try to squeeze in between. Look, I even pushed the chair closer to the wall so people wouldn't do that. And guess who tries to squeeze through there? Skunky. Skunky did.
Skunky turned sideways and tried to sneak through.
So funny. Hey, so check this out. Last week you challenged me, right? We were talking about AI songs and how musicians ought to be scared. And what we decided was we were going to try and experiment with taking the description that I write for these episodes and creating a small jingle about it. So how did we do? How did it come out?
So we're gonna crack this out here. Now I will say musicians don't have to be that scared because, like, you know, for real music, yeah, maybe some jingle writers or something, but no, this is not quite up to the quality of. But it is fun, and this is going to describe the topic of the episode. So I want to see if you guys can pick this up, and I'll probably cut it off partway through because first attempt it's a little long, but
it's too long. That's Jeff. That's Jeff, my marketing guy.
Here we go.
I like it. You're fun.
I got dirt on my jeans and a grin on my face. No price tag, no plan, just a little backyard space. A board and a hammer, a jar on the shelf. If I'm doing it for me, I'm not selling myself. Let it breathe, let it be, let it stay.
What is it?
Just for me, just for fun, just for fun. I do it, I love it, I'm done.
All right, it's gonna go on for another like 2 minutes. So
I would have been in. You cut it off. I'm like, oh damn, I was in it. That song was it.
I don't know where it goes from there, but when I was testing it out beforehand, I was going, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I think it gets to a musical interlude. It just keeps going and going. So, but that is this is all about the topic today. So you explain where you came up with this idea for the topic that led to this absolutely amazing top 40 song.
Well, remember last night, neighbor Pat came over here, right?
Yeah.
We watched the Spurs. We had high hopes. We were both disappointed with the outcome. But he reminded me, our 200th episode, we did a special all on whether or not neighbor Pat should make his hobby into a business. You remember that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you're right.
And, you know, it got me thinking because there was some other things that have popped up over the last week. I'm like, oh, man, does everything really have to be a business? Does everything have to be a side hustle? Can we do things just for fun? Because I don't know. I feel like we got away from that. I feel like that, you know, sometimes people, especially like you and I, we don't do enough things just for fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So that's where it came from. It came from his reminding me of our discussion on whether or not he should create a business out of something he just likes to do.
And I think this is so common today because I think people actually have trouble just doing something for fun. And I think they feel like there's a societal pressure to make it like a business or make it a venture, do something with it. And we're losing fun because of that, because it feels like, man, even if it isn't a business, people feel like they have to post stuff online about everything. And they have to, like you said, make everything a side hustle. Everything has to have an outcome, and it ruins the fun. And I thought this was a great topic. I can relate to it, because my first instinct with anything is to turn it into a business. And it took some discipline for me to go, no, I've already got a business. I'm doing some stuff for fun.
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, people that are great at cooking, got great recipes, can come up with stuff. Now they have to create content with it. Not really.
Yeah.
You don't have to,
No.
right? That adds a layer of complexity you don't have to. You got to remember early on, if we went fishing, we just went fishing. That was
Exactly.
it. If
Yep.
we had a garden and we had, tomatoes and, who knows? I mean, squash and zucchini and those type of things. You just had it, right? I mean,
Yep.
some people painted like I really admire Mallory, the youngest daughter, right? Because
Mhm.
she can go into a room and still draw. She can
Nice.
go in there
Yeah.
and still create and paint,
Yeah.
or she does this and doesn't show anybody. Why does she do it? Because she fucking likes it.
She has fun. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has fun. It's a way for her to just get away from whatever's going on in her world.
Yeah.
She can immerse herself. And I used to be that way, and I'm not that way now, and I miss it.
Yeah. I've actually converted quite a bit to that. I know years ago. Okay, first of all, I needed something that was fun and relaxing and away from a computer, away from business, away from all of that. And so at the time I started making skateboards. So I started like literally getting raw sheets of birch and maple and actually laminating. I made a mold. I would laminate them together, do all this stuff, do all of it from start to finish, even the graphics and everything. Um, Super fun. And the first thing I did is I started a website and I made a logo and like I was literally starting to turn it into a business. And I was partway through and I'm like, this sucks. Like I don't need another business. And so it was the most freeing thing to go, no, not doing a thing. Cause I was also recording video to go on the website to do. And then it was like literally after about that first skateboard, I just went, nope. And it is so freeing to just go out there and make them for fun. And people always ask, do you sell them? Nope. I just stockpile them. And it's so freeing to be able to do that. Right.
Well, the one thing that I do every week, and Courtney makes fun of me. She goes, "Does every Saturday have to be about you in the yard?" Yeah, yeah, it does. It's the one thing that I like doing that has no connection to anything else.
Yeah.
And if there was an award for best yard, I'd probably get it
Nice.
because it's fantastic. I've got a nice yard, and because that's the one thing. Just like you with skateboards or you with your knives, I'm sure if you showed them to somebody else, they'd go, "Oh my, that's awesome. Where can I get
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
those?"
Yeah.
I caught somebody this week, right? I walked by early in the morning. It's like, well, 9. So
The crack of dawn.
okay, 9. But I walked by the front door on the way to the office and I see a lady walking her dog and she stops in front of my yard. I'm like, well, that's weird because I'm like going, don't poop in my yard. That's what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, oh, don't let that
Yeah.
dog poop in my yard. No, she stops, bends down, takes a picture of my grass, touches the grass. And
Yeah.
she probably has one of those apps that tells her what type of grass it is, right? Because you remember a couple of years ago, I told you I stripped all the contractor builder grade grass out, brought dirt
Yeah.
in, brought in zoysia. I mean, it looks and feels like a carpet. When you step on it, it's
Nice.
spongy. It's like going, oh my God, it's not like, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's the one thing I take pride in, the one thing that has no connection to a business. I just do it. And
Yeah.
it's on a Saturday, and I'm a guy, a creature of habit. I got to go out there. I put headphones in, and I
Mhm.
just work in the yard. And it's
Yeah.
half a day, and then that's it.
Yeah. You have to have your thing. You have to you have to have your thing. You mentioned, I started making knives after the skateboards because COVID, it was too cold in the garage to laminate. And I started making knives. It was super fun. Same thing. But this time I started out and like, I'm not even getting sucked into that. Just making stuff. They're small. I can throw them in a drawer. Who cares? And you do it for the joy of it. Do it for the fun, because anything else starts to suck the life out of it. And that's not, we don't need that. You don't need 24/7, 365, a goal,
You and I growing up, we had hobbies. I'm just going to call it hobbies. I mean, you collected something, you did something, you went to certain places, you hung out at certain times or things. You just did stuff with others, or you did it for yourself.
Yeah.
With no expectation that there was any other outcome other than what happened in that time frame that you were doing that thing.
Yeah.
Riding your skateboard, collecting baseball cards. I mean, those type of things.
You're never thinking of monetizing like skateboarding as a 14-year-old or whatever. Like I used to build stuff. I built stuff all the time as a kid. Yeah. I'd paint. I would do like all of this stuff. And like, I loved doing that stuff. And I made model airplanes, a bajillion of them when I was a kid. And you don't even think about this outcome. And then at some point as an adult, I don't know, do you feel guilty if you don't have a potential outcome, like a commercial outcome? Adults need a break more than kids do. And yet they actually force themselves to not,
Well, all right. So let's talk about where was the transition, and as many positive things that have come out of this. This is one of the bad things that I think nobody that was born after us will ever realize. When the internet arrived, it killed it.
Yeah.
You can go back and mark in time. When the internet arrived, I had to figure out how to be relevant on the internet so other people would like me and stuff like that. I don't know. There's something happened in our psyche. And you remember the commercial where a guy, it's really like a T-Mobile, it's like a cell phone commercial, but the guy posts a picture on the internet and he goes, 100 likes, 100, I got 100. Yeah. That's what ruined everything, is we started chasing that as the satisfaction as opposed to the activity.
Yeah.
Right. The picture is what's important. The picture was what was important, not the like.
And I actually think that, I think we're seeing a lot of Gen Xers step away and step back from that. And I don't know if I don't know enough about the other generations, if they're doing the same or feeling the same, but I know that among the Gen X crowd, it is a little bit of that. And like, I rarely post. Sometimes if I'm up the coast, but it's more because I want it in my feed so I can look at the pictures later, and Heather likes to see them and stuff. So I'll maybe put something on Instagram and it auto post places. But that's about it. I do so little of that outside of our commercial stuff. That little secret guy, I don't do that stuff. I don't actually do any of it. It just shows up. It's
obviously
magical.
Obviously you figured out Jeff does mine.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's like, no, we don't do that anymore. But it's so freeing, and like, it's probably the healthiest thing for people is if they didn't have any social media. Now, there are things that are so good about it, because you do get to keep up with sort of family and friends a little bit and that, but it seems like it's either all in or not at all. Like there doesn't seem to be as easy of a middle ground of that stuff somehow.
Yeah. So I was at tax retreat today. First of all, I didn't even know it was happening. Hey, I don't do tax. Right. So I'm not going to keep up on when tax retreat is, but tax Twitter is a huge following. It's massive. So tax retreat is kind of an offshoot or a connection to
tax retreat's an oxymoron. That those two words should never ever go together. Tax retreat.
Yeah, right.
You're not doing the right kind of retreat, guys.
Yeah. So Jeff, though, and here's something cool that happened. Jeff on Monday says, "Hey, did you realize tax retreat was in San Antonio this week?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't do taxes." And he sends me the link. I click on the link, and all of a sudden I'm seeing people I recognize from my past, from when I was at Finnegraph and all these different places, just people that I used to drink beer with at conferences or you hang out with, have fun. I'm like going, damn, I got to go. I got to reconnect to get back. I don't want to
Yeah.
see you on Zoom. I want to shake your hand. I want to give you a hug. I want to
Yeah.
tell you I missed you. Right.
Yeah.
I want to connect that way. And I spent the day downtown at this tax retreat just reconnecting. And I got more energized from that. Right.
Yeah.
Just from that physical connection than anything
Yeah.
they could ever do on the internet for me.
Yeah. You know, when I used to, the pre-COVID, and it's always like everything's like pre and post COVID. We've talked about that before, but pre-COVID, we would go down to Arizona for the winter. We would come back, and the week I got back, I'd have a bunch of people wanting to meet with me, but I'd also reach out to a bunch. And I'd always say, like, basically May, June, 40 catch-ups on 40 patios or coffee shops. Like that's just was what it was, right? And then that sort of died. And then we were on Zoom and you're kind of catching up with people. And I've started to warm it up a little bit, but this year I made it different. This year I made a concerted effort to meet with people in person. And it's been awesome. And I've been seeing people that I haven't seen in person in years and years. And it's almost like I'm embarrassed that it's taken that long to see someone in person, because there's nothing quite like sitting down and having a beer with someone in person. It just, there isn't, right?
That's what neighbor Pat says about you. He goes, he hasn't seen you in years and years and years, and you don't drink beer with him or nothing.
Well, I will tell you, it doesn't look that appealing to fly right now. It's just like, sounds like kind of a real pain in the ass. So I'm not that eager to hop on a plane, but maybe next year when we're down in Scottsdale, we'll pop over and we'll see.
Yeah, but all right. So let's talk about like the transition, right? When we went from having hobbies to having side hustles or businesses or a brand, even. Is it? I'm going to blame Etsy. Is that one of the early? That's one of the early ones, right? Was it Etsy?
Yeah, but I think that especially like you and I as entrepreneurs are a little bit wired for it. So this was long, like the internet was barely around when I was in university. Like we were doing like, it was brand new and we're doing HTML and all this kind of stuff. We weren't even, commercial websites were barely around. And it already had, even while as a student, I had already started a little business, do a little side hustle. So there's something about like sometimes I think your brain's wired that way, but it's gone past people that have the affliction of being an entrepreneur and having been wired that way to kind of everybody. And I don't know, like it just it is it Etsy or was it Facebook? I don't really know. I don't really know what started it.
Yeah. See, I if I look back, I wasn't looking at MySpace or Facebook as a way to generate money back then when it first started.
Yeah.
But if I think about Etsy, these were people that had crafts at their house. I could quilt. I could build friendship bracelets. I could do some type of woodwork, whatever. They had crafts and they started to sell their crafts. And that's why I'm like, wait a second, something you like to do that you became good at, that you enjoy doing. That was the pitch. Hey, you like doing this?
Yep.
Turn it into a business. Sell your stuff on the internet through Etsy. Facebook wasn't doing that.
No, it's true. They weren't. And unfortunately, you can actually see how it goes because everybody wants to get in on the side hustle. And Etsy is basically turned into eBay. So it's no longer.
It was eBay, not Etsy. Maybe it was eBay that I could just
but eBay,
my house and just
maybe it was eBay. Yeah, maybe it was eBay, but like Etsy, when it originally started, was a place where I felt like, yeah, you could go and you see these people and the crafts they make, and that is so charming and so interesting and so cool. And it did not take long till it's completely flipped over, and now it's just people have their own store and they're buying stuff that's been manufactured. It looks sort of handmade, but no, it's all manufactured on the cheap, and they're selling it, and it's really basically transformed into eBay with maybe some slight guidelines where eBay is kind of a free for all. But a lot of people did. They started their eBay store as a little side hustle, right? And honestly, I don't think they make like does anyone really make a lot of money from that? Like maybe the very odd person, but you know,
No, I'm sure there's some businesses that evolved out of both of those, right? Uh,
some, but an absolute tiny fraction. I think if you ask the average eBay person or even Etsy person, it's like, oh, I sold X amount of dollars this month. Yeah, okay, well, what were your costs? Well, I'm not going to talk about that. They're not making any money, right? Or
uh,
very little. I made
yeah,
$3 in profit, you know.
yeah. If a friend of mine, you know, dated like the number 4 Etsy provider, and she was doing, I'm gonna guess, I'm gonna be wrong, 7, 8, 9 million a year on Etsy.
Oh yeah, there's always it's the same as, but all those platforms, it's the same as the Apple's like App Store. It's the same as like YouTube. It's the same as all these ones. There is this little slim. I don't even know if it would be 1 out of 10,000, 1 out of 100,000, maybe. That's actually like really killing it. If even that, right? And then the rest is it's just there's these few people that got they found a way to get to the top, and once you're on the top it's really hard to knock you off, but it's not the norm. It's not the norm at all. It's the
Well,
it's the exceptions, right?
the ones I see that I think are moving off of it now are like the memorabilia houses, the ones that collect
Oof.
autographs and all this type of stuff. Because it used to be they would put it on eBay or they put it on,
Yeah.
I don't know if they put it on Etsy or not, but I'm seeing now more and more and more they're having their own or hosting their own
Mhm.
auction sites,
Yeah.
right? Where they
Yeah.
can sell their own stuff and have people, you know, bid it up.
Well, and I imagine because uh when you're on a site that takes a percentage, and then someone else comes up and says, I'll charge you $20 a month, do whatever the hell you want. You're going to go to the $20 a month, do whatever the hell you want. Because like the eBays and Etsy's, they are what they really offer is a like good coverage over on the search engines. That's really
Yeah.
what they offer.
Yeah.
If you're selling something that's really unique, especially like sports memorabilia, it's like I want a Wayne Gretzky jersey from 1986. Da 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 da. It's so specific and so like rare. They're not getting anything probably out of being on eBay at that point.
Yeah, but what you just described is somebody that took something that you enjoy. I enjoy this. I got a Mike
Yeah.
Tyson signed boxing glove.
Oh,
I
cool.
just enjoy having it. I don't
Yeah.
want to go sell it. You
Yeah.
know, the question for me isn't, what do I enjoy anymore? Because I enjoy seeing it, and I got a bunch of other cool stuff as well. But to me, the question that some people are trying to answer is, how can I make money with this thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like going, you bought it for the wrong, in my mind, I bought it for the
Yeah.
wrong
Yeah.
reason. If I, as the consumer, bought that to go make money off of it later.
Yeah, if you're buying it with that value in mind, I think you're ruining the fun. Like I still have boxes of hockey cards somewhere in the house. Um, I know I've got a bunch of cards that when I was like a teenager, I'm like, oh, this is worth a lot. So I got the little plastic covers and all that kind of stuff. And I've never done anything with them. And you know what? I probably never will. But the amount of effort to go and sell all this stuff so I can get a couple $100. I'll go buy like a bottle of scotch with it. Like it's not worth the effort. The only way I would actually sell something like that is not to make the money. It's because other people I know will enjoy it, and it's just sitting in the closet for me, right? Like that's the real outcome for me is like, well, someone else will enjoy it more than I do because I don't even look at these bloody things, right?
Yeah, what's really fun is that in the late 1900s, we're talking like 1999, when I decided to leave the highway patrol and, I started that, janitorial company, that wasn't the first thing I was going to do. The first thing I was going to do, I actually interviewed to buy a Great Harvest Bread Company franchise.
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm.
Their breads were fantastic, but I didn't get there from liking their bread. I got there because somebody gave us a bread maker and we were making sourdough. You remember when everybody had a bread maker? I mean, I don't know
Yep.
anybody that has one now or uses one now, You
We
got
do.
one, you use it?
We use it all the
You
time.
oh, no
We
shit.
don't even buy bread. We like Heather makes, and what I like about it is because it's the biggest reason that is because we have complete control over it. We know what's going in, and you can make a really nice, tasty whole wheat bread that isn't
Yeah.
full of shit. And so that's why we do it. Yeah.
All right, so, of course, we had and sourdough was my favorite, and it's just a
Mhm.
favorite everybody's, and then everybody
Awesome.
started making sourdough breads, and we
Yeah.
thought we wanted to buy that franchise, and ultimately, I decided not to, because I'm like going, do I really want to sell bread? It came
Yeah.
down to it because I liked making it at the house. Did I like it well enough to make it my daily job all day long, every day?
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
and
no.
that it's yeah, you take a hobby that you really enjoyed and you tend to ruin it, right? By trying to make something. Now, for some people, they turn that into a business, but I'm convinced that a lot of times it's the business that people like, right? It's the being an entrepreneur that people like more than transforming a hobby. And I think if you just focus on transforming a hobby, those businesses are they're hard to make a living at if you're doing it that way. But I think back to like at what point, actually, I think I know what point. At what point did hockey cards, when I was a kid, turn from the joy of going and getting a 25-cent pack of hockey cards with like gum that was so stiff it was like metal, like a piece of wood. And you have that smell from the O-Pee-Chee cards and all that. When did it turn into, oh, this one's worth a lot? And it like the sucks the joy out a little bit. And there was this conversion over to suddenly the packs were $1 or $2 each, and they were fancier looking cards, and it just kind of just takes some of the fun out of it, right? And that seems to happen to this is what happened to hockey cards and baseball cards and all that seems to have happened across the board, that people just can't do something for the fun of it anymore.
And that's kind of what happened to me. I don't think I've bought cards since then 1990. Might have been the last time. Might have been,
Yeah.
So I only know that because I got a 1990 set out there. and I don't even know if I bought it in 1990. I might have bought it in well, I would have had to buy it somewhere around 1990. But yeah, it's out there. Got an 88 set too. But here's what I think's happening. And the reason why I brought this up is because I've been talking to just more people like us. And we even had an episode on it a couple ago about adulting, about, adults that are buying Legos and that type of stuff. You remember?
Yep. Yeah. Completely. Yeah.
And I think there is a revolution or the next evolution of people like going, hey, I don't have to do everything as a business. I can just go do this for me. And I think Legos is one of those things, right? I can just do that for me. Something that never existed as me growing up is a running club. And I see running and biking clubs more and more and more. There's nobody in a running or biking club that's putting it on the internet. Like, here's me running down the road. Here's me biking down the road, for the most part. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is me seeing the evolution of it coming back, that we're starting to do more and more. And that's one of the reasons I want to talk about today was maybe it's coming back. It's taken a few years, 20 years, but it's coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. The idea of running club is not, to me, there's zero fun in running club. That's like, I think Fight Club would be more fun than running club to me, but biking club except I'm not even that serious of a biker. There was a biking group that used to run every once in a while, from Rosso Pizza in Edmonton. We'd go have brunch there, and then they would have the bike group would get together, and we would just do a little tour on our way to a brewery. Like, that was awesome. But that's all we do anyway. We bike to the brewery. It was just a bigger group. But that was all about, again, it was all about fun. No one's posting shit. There's no money involved. It was just for fun, right? And that's how it should be. Which is funny because we're you and I are like longtime entrepreneurs and everything. But I think that's the thing. We've been at it long enough to know that it's like you do your job during the day, but you have to have some relief from it. You have to have a release valve, right?
Yeah. So I think that's where, all right. So before Courtney left to go out to College Station for this soccer game thing, she said, it would be nice, you know, yeah, isn't that like the corporate speak for you should do this?
I know exactly what's coming. Yep. Yeah.
Like, I was like, it would be nice if when I got home, you had built me a planter so I could do gardening. And because neighbor Pat brought her down some massive zucchini or something like that. She goes, I want to do that in our yard. So now I got to figure out how to create
Yeah.
a
It's
planter garden
yeah.
before she gets home on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. In my household, it's we should do this, and it's you should do this. So okay, I guess I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, because here's what I like about just having a hobby, though, right? Is there is joy in being bad at something. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, it is. And when I like started making skateboards and making knives and that too, it's like I got 100 of these ahead of me that are going to be ugly. No, maybe not quite 100, but it takes time to learn it, and there's a lot of joy in the frustration of learning something and making some of the mistakes as you're learning until you kind of go, yeah, that worked pretty good. Like that worked really quite well, right? It's a different sort of thing, right?
Yeah, because I mean, especially if something's hard, like it still bothers me that I can't play guitar. I know you can play guitar. It still bothers me I can't. And every time I pick it up, I mean, I try. I think I'm doing something good. It's hard, and I quit. But I still love the fact that I did it, even though I'm not good at it, and I quit every once in a while.
Well, like I can play a little bit of guitar, and you know what I've realized is that you get to a point where you sort of flatline, and I can play all the same stuff, and I can play it like pretty good, and I'm comfortable playing it. To take it to that next level is a big lift. It's
Yeah.
suddenly it's like, okay, now I got to really dig into theory, right? And so I've started to do that because I want to challenge myself and I want to move past this um mid range or sort of thing. It is hard. It is hard because it's so easy to pick up a guitar and play a bunch of tunes and licks and shit that I've played forever and noodle around. But to actually take a step in progression, that's hard. And I'm trying to do it, and I'm using like an online training program, and it's not bad. But for the first time, about a week ago, I actually thought, I wonder if I should go and actually take lessons somewhere, because and I hate the organized stuff. I'm just not good at that. I hate rules and all that kind of stuff. But I know that it's more the time. It's that you go through the ritual, you go somewhere, you take the time, you have someone guiding you through. It's not because I couldn't learn it on my own. It's that I don't have the discipline. It's not that I don't have the discipline. It's like 40 some hours a week or more. It's all discipline, you know? And it's like I need that relief, but also I'm like, it's hard to be a self-starter. When I was a kid, it wasn't hard for me to learn the stuff because you just did like a sponge and you just get obsessed with it. I don't have that anymore. So it is interesting because you're talking about guitar and I'm like, I'm trying to get to that next level. And I
Yeah.
am making progress, but it is quite slow because it's hard to dial in. I can't sit for hours anymore, just focused on nothing else.
Yeah, because that's the way I am with wood, right? I'm actually, I'll call it above average in woodworking. I'm not awesome. I'm not terrible,
Yeah.
but I'm not average either. I think I do some, when I look at some of the stuff I've actually done and built, I see the mistakes, I see the things, and it makes me happy because it's still mine. It's still that thing. I've built
Yeah.
a 12-foot bookcase with a bench and movable. I mean, and it took me like 3 months in the garage, and I was
Yeah.
happy every single day I did it.
Yeah.
Right. And when I looked at them, I'm going, yeah, that's not exactly right. Because, even if you're not
Wait.
an expert, when something's not exactly right.
Yeah. I know. I can see it. I can see everything, but I can only say I can see everything that I've done. You don't see, nobody else sees it. I don't see what other people have done, but boy, I can see the little itty mistake here or there that I've done. Right. And it drives me batty.
But I just love it. I love that time. And
Yeah.
it's,
I don't have that love. I'm like, that drives me nuts. I should have done that better. It's just perfectionist, I think.
but it's like, I'm happy about it. I don't like that part, but that's what we're working towards. I don't try
Yeah.
to sell my work woodworking. I just try to
Just try and make
enjoy it and pick myself apart. I'm like, how would I have done that different?
Yeah.
That's what I ask myself. What would I have done different there? So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, because you ever heard of amateur? You've heard that word, right?
Yes, I speak English.
Well, okay, but it has a
Yep.
Latin root, right?
Most of English is roots in everything but, right? Like half the
Right.
words we rendezvous, that's not
Yes.
exactly English, right?
Yeah. So amateur though means one that loves.
Hmm.
That's actually where it comes from, right? That's the
Yeah.
root. The Latin root is one that loves. So you're like, well, okay,
Yeah.
if I'm an amateur, I'm doing it though because I love this. When
Yeah.
you invest in it, yeah, maybe I'm an amateur, but I'm here because I have a passion. I'm here because I want to be better at this.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
important, not only if it's your hobby, but if it's your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there's a line there that is messy, right? Like there's just a line there that's always really messy on so many things. And but that's kind of part of it is like you were saying, you build something and you see the mistakes, but there if you keep doing the same thing, at some point those mistakes aren't there anymore. And is that the point where you're like, I need a new challenge? Maybe I should start selling this stuff or whatever. Maybe that's where you reach that point because it's like, yeah, I can do this stuff in my sleep. Maybe that's the next step that I start selling this stuff.
Oh, it's really interesting because what you're describing is what we go through every day. We know we have to have a goal, right?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this, right? I have to be productive somehow. But maybe the goal of a hobby isn't growth, it's enjoyment.
Yeah. And that takes
Right. Yeah.
discipline. That takes discipline, especially for entrepreneurs.
Because
It
that's
takes
the line you
discipline.
talked about. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
line you talked about, right?
And I will say, like, the way that I deal with it is I don't dabble. It's all or none. Cause I know me that I would fall in the like 2 feet dive over. So it's got to be one or the other. It's like when I'm playing cards and things, I have to be just like, it's just for fun. And because it's 100% just for fun. And I ignore it because if I even get the little inkling of being competitive, there is no, like, it's all like, I can't stop that. The competitive, I have to stop the competitive because if I turn it on a little bit, it's on 100%. Like it's on 100%. There's no, so let's go. No, there's zero competitive there, zero business, zero, just it's for fun.
No. Like you did with skateboards, like you did with knives.
Yeah.
That's important. When you say that, hey, my success here is not making this a business, it's keeping it a hobby.
It's keeping it a hobby and it's the goal is relaxation to rest my brain. And I think that's a bona fide goal. There is an outcome I'm looking for is to have that mental break, that relaxation, and that, because it is incredibly important, especially for entrepreneurs. You can't shut your brain off. It's like that. There's that one little slice where I can shut it off because I am doing something like that. That's the whole point for it to me, is to shut that part of the brain off, because I know it's going to be on at 3 a.m. anyway. So that's where you get that little break.
All right. So final question for you. Is this podcast a business or hobby?
Well, based on our revenue numbers, this is very much a hobby. And you know what? I have to give us both credit, because both of us could go all in on this, and it's a thing, and you try and build it, and we have kept it for fun, and we've kept it a hobby. And someday we might flip and go, yeah, you know what? We maybe we've exited and stuff. We're like, okay, let's then we dive in, and but there's a different, then it's kind of fun to do that.
Hey,
But
we made a
really
promise.
it's a hobby.
Yeah. We made a promise that if we exited our companies, we would try to make this a business.
Then we will.
Yeah.
Then we will go all in. But until that day, it's for fun. Despite the fact that sometimes we actually get these little bursts of traffic and buzz and everything, it is just for fun. And it's important, I think, that we both intuitively, just unconsciously recognized, keep this for fun. And I think that's really important.
Hey, we wouldn't do it 240 times, right? If it wasn't fun.
Exactly.
We're not doing it for money. We're doing it because I really like all of it, right? I like being on the internet with it. I like being with you.
Yeah.
I like the topics we talk about. If this wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do it. And even if it was a commercial thing, it still has to be fun. It still has to be enjoyable, but the whole thing changes. Everything changes on top of that, right? It adds a lot of complication, and this is important, that it is that relief out of the week, right? Like, it is that decompression from the pressures and stress of running a business, to have this little break, and it's precious that way, right?
Yep. Hey, I always appreciate it. And if you guys appreciate it, one of the ways that you can support us is by liking, subscribing, telling 3 friends, telling them to like and subscribe.
Yeah. And buy us a beer. You can go to mikeandblaine.com. You can buy us a beer. Buy us for the whole year. Buy us for a month, whatever you want. We will mention you for however many weeks, $5 a week, $5 an episode, and we will mention you. And you can also email us at beer@mikeandblaine.com, and we would love to hear from you. So
check out their website at mikeandblaine.com. Then subscribe to the podcast and buy these guys a beer.